Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Beyond Headlines with Akhilesh Bhargav and me, Sujit Nair. Our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, announced a scheme where he said that small and medium entrepreneur or small and medium enterprises can now avail of a loan up to 1 crore rupees in 59 minutes. Instant loan. So, what small entrepreneurs or small and medium entrepreneurs have to do is get into a website, fill in the details, and in 59 minutes you get 1 crore rupees loan. Now, this was very well received. Lot of people, the social media was flooded with messages which said, wow, the Prime Minister recognizes the need for pushing and helping small entrepreneurs, and this has been a landmark decision and all of that. So, a lot of things. But I have a small problem. And the problem, Akhilesh, is we already are struggling with a 10 lakh crore NPA.
And counting.
And counting on a daily basis. NCLT is clocked. No resolution happening on the NPA. We have absolutely no idea where this is going to come back, or if at all it's going to come back, or is there going to be any resolution for that matter of fact. That is the reality. Okay, and here we are doling out loans again to people at large. Where are we heading to? Where is this going to head?
So, at the inception, I am happy that the Prime Minister recognizes that small and medium enterprises are facing a major liquidity crisis.
Correct.
We have been raising this issue so often.
Absolutely.
And it was, quite a surprise to us, pretty shockingly, that why aren't the mandarins in the finance ministry noticing this huge liquidity crisis that particularly small and medium enterprises have been facing. So the fact that the Prime Minister takes cognizance of it is nice. If we want to give attributes to it, the small and medium enterprises are a core constituency of the Bharatiya Janata Party. And with a huge election season on the cards, maybe it was time for him to react to it. But irrespective, I give him credit there for recognizing that there is a huge liquidity crisis, cash flows have been hit, that needs to be addressed. But the mechanism of addressing it is pretty unique, and I think it might not be the best of mechanisms. Giving a loan needs a very detailed process, whether you give 5 lakh rupees or 5 crore rupees or beyond that, of due diligence, risk analysis, understanding the man's background, understanding the genuineness of the need of the person, seeing his track record, seeing whether the papers he is giving you. In fact, a lot of loans that have gone bad in NPAs, they came with bogus financial statements. Right. So you need a lot of due diligence, credit appraisal, background check before you say this man is worthy of a loan. Now his loan, 59 minutes, 1 crore, up to 1 crore loan. 1 crore is not a small amount. In those 59 minutes, how is the system geared up to do what an individual does? We are all aware that in a lot of abuse in social media happens where you see at the other end that there's a handsome looking man, he turns out to be a dog or a beast. So how are they really going to ensure that the system, the web portal, is a substitute for the due diligence which a man personally does? It could be a fake address. Today, it's part of the due diligence of opening a bank account. They come and check your address. They come and take a photograph in your office before you even open a bank account. Now, if just for opening a bank account, they need to come and personally see to verify that the man is there or not, his office is there or not, what he claims he is or not. They take all this trouble. Then in those 59 minutes, how is all of it going to get bypassed, and how will the risk and due diligence get done? To me is a question mark.
But Akhilesh, do you think this is going to actually happen?
Well, it's an announcement with elections on the cards.
We all know about announcements. So,
Sujit, this kind of an announcement, let me draw your attention. Mudra loans were announced. Mudra loans have been doled out. The exposure of Mudra loans is upwards of 7 lakh crores. So, Mudra loans were doled out. As per Raghuram Rajan, that's the next time bomb in the NPA theory of India. You will have an NPA saga in the Mudra loans. They've been indiscriminately doled out. So, by coming to something like this, I am repeating, great that he recognizes that small and medium enterprises need credit, they need money. There's no money in the system. But the means of doling out the money almost looks like a loan mela.
Akhilesh, the problem that I see with this government And the problem that see with the financial policies of this government are this government is purely about,
Grand announcements.
grand announcement, of course, yes, grand announcement, 90% of which are never implemented. But more so, they treat the symptoms. They don't treat the problem. Like you rightly said, and we've been saying this for months, and so are many other experts, I'm sure, that the problem is liquidity. There is no liquidity in the market. So other than solving the liquidity issue, they are trying to dole out money through loans, creating another problem.
Loans will sort out the liquidity problem.
No, I'm right.
Because
I'm
money
sure.
will come in the system.
I'm sure.
But you're creating NPA part 2.
Correct. That's what
for
I'm
sure.
saying. This is not the solution to liquidity.
Yes.
But by giving loans, though, I mean, this is what that's what I meant. You are just treating the symptom.
Now the government, let me just tell you, says that this process will be based on you apply, they will cross-check your GST return, income tax return, and on that basis, the bank will react and probably a loan gets sanctioned. I still think that if you draw a parallel in terms of opening just an ordinary bank account, if they need to come and see whether you exist or not, whether your address is correct or not, what you claim you are is right or not, if they need to do that personally, physically, then when you are giving a loan to a person up to 1 crore of rupees, I think that becomes very critical. Due diligence, risk analysis. So this process of going on a web portal and getting, feed in data and you get a sanction letter on the other end. I hope the sanction letter comes with a check also. Otherwise, we'll all be sitting with sanction letters, lekin paisa nahi aaya. So if the sanction letter is followed by a disbursement, I think the process is going to be erroneous. This kind of a sanction disbursement process doesn't suit loans. It's serious business.
See, I still maybe it's me, but I still think that this is going to be another Modi Care, the insurance scheme part 2. I don't think this is actually going to be implemented ever. This is a fantastic announcement, and this will stay there, because not only the fact that you are talking about, you say that you are going to offer up to 1 crore. Now, technically, possibly the chances are the person who applies may get 30,000 rupees loan, if at all he gets. Number one, that is assuming that he is going to get, because I'm sure they will have rigid systems which...
I would be very happy if a man applies for 1 crore, but the system was so stringent that he got only 30,000. It means public money is safe. But the question is, the man who was applying for it, how are you bypassing the entire due diligence that would anyway have been required by virtue of a physical inspection?
Correct.
Is where my question
Correct.
mark
So
is.
I'm saying that offering a person 30,000 rupees, a person who needs 1 crore rupees, offering him 30,000 rupees and he taking the 30,000 rupees definitely means that 30,000 rupees is going to be an NPA, because he is not using it for the reason why he has taken it. So let's assume that as first of all given, number one. Number two is what on earth are we doing? Is this the way we solve our liquidity problem? Is this the way we promote our entrepreneurs? By, putting a magic scheme?
What is required, of course, which is missing is, what are the reasons why the MSME sector has been suffering, their business has been suffering, which then gets reflected in liquidity. That is one part of it. But the larger issue is, money being doled out. Is it being doled out recklessly, frivolously, carelessly? And the CVC report points out that due diligence, risk analysis for loans given was not enough. Documents were fabricated, documents were fake. The financial statements audited by chartered accountants were bogus. How are you bypassing all that by those 59 minutes of somebody inputting data on a web portal? To me, raises professional questions.
That's one end of the story. So that's Prime Minister and his loan scheme. Now let us come to some other loan scheme, Akhilesh. You see, even private banks, even today, you have private banks taking ads using big celebrities, to sell loans. Now I find this concept of selling loans a little weird. While I understand that loan is also a property, loan is also a product that has to be sold, loan is also a brand. HDFC is a brand, it's a housing loan brand which is sold to the consumer and the consumer buys it. But what I don't understand is, under the current circumstances, when we have a definite problem of NPA, when it's mounting, why are we still selling loan like a chocolate?
I still think, Sujit, if you ask any well-trained, conservative, experienced banker, he will certainly tell you that a loan cannot be treated as a consumer product. So, a billboard might just announce a scheme, but trying to fix targets for the staff, trying to bypass the entire due diligence process, I think it's disaster
Because
for the...
this is when you have these touts who come and say, "Sir, ho jayega, sir, kar denge." You know, this is when you have these touts, and that is when when you create
Because
NPAs.
they are only interested in the loans being sanctioned for their commissions.
Absolutely.
So if some documents are missing, he'll even tell you, "मैं document डाल दूंगा." So you are just putting the entire serious business of risk analysis, due diligence in the hands of people who are the least interested and the least equipped or qualified to do that.
See, like again, Akhilesh and I are not saying that loans should not be doled out or loans should not be made easy. The process of loan should not be easy. That is not our objection. Our objection is when you make loans sound like chocolates or loans sound like toothpaste, where you say 25% off on a loan, come take it from me. That is where the problem happens. When you have DSAs, you hire local DSAs, and ask them to go and dole out personal loans and insecure loans to all and sundry. That is where we are talking about, because that today or tomorrow is going to create itself into another monster.
It will balloon into NPA Part 2.
Absolutely, NPA Part 2, and finally again. The reason we are saying it again and again, and every show I repeat this, is finally an NPA means it's going out of our pocket. It is not going out of somebody else's pocket. NPA, if there is a non-performing asset, if a bank goes into losses, the money is going from our pocket. So that's the concern in which we are talking about. Akhilesh, now finally tell me, what is the ultimatum going to be of this 1 crore loan, and how should loan be treated in India from here on?
I think, Sujit, the genesis of the banking problem, the NPA problem, has been careless, reckless, corrupt, frivolous lending. A banker's job is almost like an investigator who needs to know the background of the borrower very seriously to ascertain, will the money come back? If we are trying to bypass it and institutionalizing it by way of a web portal sanction, I think you're setting a wrong precedent. So, like a Mudra loan, which Raghuram Rajan says is another big NPA crisis in the making, even this could end up being that. But from a political perspective, if this kind of money is being just going to be doled out, and that gets vote for the ruling party, then probably their election purpose is served.
Absolutely. That is what I was going to actually conclude, Akhilesh. What I would like to say is such schemes, such loan schemes, such benevolent schemes may sound good now. But believe me when they flop, it is we who have to pay for the losses. And that's what makes us sad. Till we meet again, another day, another topic. For more such episodes, please subscribe to HW News and press the bell icon for instant notification. Also, do give this video a like and share the video to spread the word around.